Welcome to Street Chat, where we chat on the streets.
Hey guys, we've got another episode here of Street Chat. I'd like to welcome DJ and life coach Andy Tran.
I grew up in Toronto. I came from a refugee family. My dad came here in the late 70s during the Vietnam War. And right now I work in the government, Department of Health, Health Canada, in information management, and doing the DJing and the life coaching on the side. I run DJ Acie Entertainment. I've been doing it for about 8 years now. Luckily, I was able to catch on with a really busy company out in Toronto that did Italian weddings. So they just threw me right in the fire for the first couple of gigs. I was just, getting drinks for DJs and kind of just standing there pretending to do something while, these guys were going to the washroom, take a piss or something. And then, eventually some of those older guys left the company. Next man up, I stepped up and started getting some experience. Launched my own company a couple of years later. Got into a couple of bars. I've done a lot of the venues here for weddings, so that's my main bread and butter.
So we talked about life coach, right? And the term itself, and there's a bit of ambiguity behind it. So I want you to give your definition of it.
First, we'll start off by what life coaching is not. So we're basically not counselors. I'm not going to be very private about my life. I'm going to share a lot of my life experiences as opposed to a counselor or a psychiatrist who really has that confidential agreement and cannot tell them anything about their personal life. So basically what it is, if I go through the step-by-step process, first we really get to know who you are, because that's the most important thing. If you don't know who you are, you'll never be able to, understand, the different motivations that you have and the different inspirations that you have to do what you need to do in life to change. And also, I believe if you don't know yourself, you won't be able to love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you won't be able to love anybody else. So I think that's an extremely important first step. Once that's done and we got all that kind of figured out, we go into goal setting, because that's basically where you're getting your money's worth when it comes to life coaching. And you're going to set your goals, and we're going to set solid milestones for your goals too, right? So we have the short-term goals, the medium-term goals, the long-term goals, and realistic goals as well, right? Things that you can actually achieve based on, your life and where you're at. Once that's done, the life coach's job really is to keep you accountable, to make sure that you reach those goals, to make sure someone's there to give you that little kick in the butt if you need it. Because we all know that when you get inspired to do a couple of things and you get that spark of inspiration, it lasts probably just for a couple of weeks. And that's kind of where we come in a little bit. We give you that extra inspiration to keep going, because that's where life's most beautiful prizes are, is when you actually stick with something that you want to give up on. My job, I think one of the most important things about being a life coach is leading by example. All right, so I live this life of vulnerability, and just to be able to talk about my problems and just allowing other people to feel comfortable to do the same. Human connection in general is probably one of the most important things in the world. Sharing stories, talking to people. I find it crazy that, even this building right next to us over here, you have hundreds and hundreds of people living within a block of each other, and people don't even know who lives a couple of doors down. Right, and they could live there for many, many years without even knowing who's on their floor. So I think that's something that we need to change, because if we don't know, we fear, right? Because we fear what we don't know.
Coolest event that you've DJ'd or emceed?
I do remember doing a corporate party for the Good Life, for all of Good Life, all their personal trainers, all of their executive staff. So they had a holiday party at the end of the year, and they had deep pockets. So they got a whole bunch of things. They got crazy lights, crazy smoke machines, crazy DJ, and I just remember the sound was just sounding amazing, because I was at the EY Center, and it's such a huge venue, and it was so hard to fill the sound in there because it's kind of like a hangar. So we had to put speakers all around, and obviously they're all just a bunch of young people too. So we just had a wicked night. Played some games with them, got some wicked music going, and all around good vibes, man. But honestly, it's such a hard question to answer, because every time DJ Acie is on the decks, it's always a great party. So I can't come up with one.
Who's one artist that more people need to listen to?
In terms of someone who more people should listen to, all time, Bob Marley. When it comes to Bob Marley, there's just messages of just peace and love all throughout his music. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. But I really think that this generation should keep on passing that message along to their kids about the struggles that people like that had to go through, and still being able to be happy with what you have.
What's the one hobby you think more people should do more of?
I think that's an easy one. I think nowadays, and I'm happy to see it growing, I think it's meditation. Right? There's a lot of meditation studios that are opening up around town. I do a lot of volunteer work with the Peace Room that's out on Spark Street. So shout out to the Peace Room. It just does wonders for your body, because even though you're technically kind of doing nothing, you're doing everything for your mind and your soul, right? Just to really take that time to focus back in on your body and on your breath, And it's amazing how much it'll clear everything else up in your life. Because if you feel like your life is cluttered, meditation is definitely something for you. Just like physical exercise is going to help you with your dexterity, your agility, your strength, meditation is going to do the exact same thing, but for your mind.
So what's the best life moment or experience you've ever had?
Okay. The best moment I've ever had, and it's going to be a little cliche, it was the time my son was born. And I got to give a big shout out to my son Jackson. I know he's probably not even old enough to understand what I'm saying right now. He's 4.5 years old right now. But I forgot to shout him out at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to do it now. So Jackson, what up? Daddy loves you. Just, seeing him being born kind of just changed my life. And just, now something's holding me accountable to life, right? I can't just go around being like a young bachelor anymore and just doing whatever I want and, chasing girls and just doing all that kind of stuff. It's really just like, now I have something to go home to now and someone to be an example for. Even though I'm trying to do that for everybody, it's completely different for my son, right? So that moment just totally changed my life, and I think all parents who are watching this can definitely relate to that. What's up, guys? It's Coach Acie here, DJ Acie. Big shout out to JP for putting us all together. He's definitely a titan in the videography game. I just want to shout out a couple of places where you guys can find me. I'm at Coach Acie on YouTube. That's probably where you can find all my videos, all my podcasts together. Or if you listen on Apple iTunes podcasts or on Podbean, it's Acie Talks. You'll find all my stuff on there. On Instagram, I'm at Coach Acie _ at Coach Acie _. And on Facebook, because I love making friends, just add me, Acie Tran, ACIE TRAN. I'd love to speak to you guys. Thank you very much.